Let's get this trade deadline started properly, folks. Welcome into Mavericks Today. I'm Harrison Graham. Mavs trade alert. Daniel Gafford is heading to Dallas as this trade appears to be close to being finalized. We'll explain that in a second. Richaun Holmes in draft compensation to Washington in return for Daniel Gafford, who is a center from the Wizards. And my initial reaction is I absolutely love this move. Daniel Gafford is a player we've talked about on this program for the last few weeks, off and on, as a guy who is a capable starting center. He's a guy who could be a high-quality backup center. And now the Mavericks are finalizing a move to bring him to Dallas, which makes you feel pretty good about your center position moving forward, which is what we'll talk about here as well. But listen, this is why you subscribe. Mavs coverage throughout the NBA trade deadline. We're just getting started. There's reports that the Mavs may not be done. We'll talk about that later on in the show as well. So don't go anywhere. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. And don't miss out regarding anything for your Dallas Mavericks. Now, let's get to this note from Mark Stein because it's not finalized as we're filming this, although second tweet in a second I think shows that we're closer. Let's get to this, though. The Mavericks are in process of trying to acquire the needed draft compensation to furnish Washington to complete its pending deal to acquire Wizards center Daniel Gafford for Richaun Holmes. He added this, though, so I would say they're closer. The Mavericks, I'm told, are poised to acquire draft compensation for Oklahoma City that will be routed to Washington to complete the Richaun Holmes for Daniel Gafford swap. So we showed you that initial trade graphic. Maybe there's some kind of player that goes to OKC from the Mavericks roster to get that draft pick, whatever it is. I don't know yet, but based on what we know now, I do like this move because Daniel Gafford knows exactly who he is. He is a low post center. He's not a jump shooter. He's great around the basket, excellent rebounder. The field goal percentage is very nice, and he's a rim protector. And I mentioned earlier, he can start, he can come off the bench. I mentioned here, backup center was a clear need, but he's a high-level backup. Like, he starts for probably a third of this league right now. Like, he's a really, really good player, a double-double type of machine here. And with Derek Lively playing really well as a rookie, but he's been a little nicked up like he has been the last few games, this gives you a guy that if you need him to start, cool. If he's going to come off the bench, that's all right as well. I'm a big fan of this move, and I think you guys should be as well. So let's revisit the trade, and you get your grades in. Richaun Holmes in draft compensation, which we don't know exactly what that is yet, in return for Daniel Gafford. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade the trade down in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys think. I'm going to go A-. Partially, I'm hedging just a hair because we don't know exactly what the draft compensation is. Hopefully, it's not a first-round pick, ideally. I would guess multiple seconds is probably what we're looking at here to add Richaun Holmes to that deal. So I'll go A-. And now you think about the Mavericks' current roster here. You got Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving in your backcourt, Josh Green, Derek Jones in your front court, and then Derek Lively at that center position. That's a rock-solid center combination, man. It really is. Like, I would argue, sure, neither of these guys are like an all-pro starting center, but from a 1-2 punch standpoint, it's good, it's young, it's a pairing that can ascend moving forward. I think Gafford's a guy who will be here beyond this year, so I'm excited for this move, and I think you guys should be very, very pleased as well. And I should mention this as well. Mark Stein reported late last night, early this morning, that Kyle Kuzma was not going to be traded. Washington decided, hey, we're pulling out of any trade talks with him. We're keeping him, which is what led the Mavericks pivoting to Daniel Gafford. But that does not mean the Mavericks are done. We'll talk more about that here in a second as well. But let's get to today's sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy with Prize Picks. Listen, you can play on a nightly basis with the NBA, college basketball, the NHL, and a whole bunch of other things as well. And the biggest day of the year for Prize Picks is almost here. It's Super Bowl Sunday coming up. You just select more or less on 2 to 6 player entries for different statistical categories, and if you hit on all of them, you cash out. It's as simple as that. So we got a 3-player entry for the Super Bowl. They're giving you a deal. Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. You obviously take the more there. Isaiah Pacheco, half a touchdown. You take the more there. And then I think Brock Purdy has a pretty big day as well. A lot on the line for him. personally. So 10 to win 50 there. You can win up to 5 times your money on a 3-player entry. You can win up to 25 times your money on a 6-player entry. Get started with PrizePicks today. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. That code CLNS gets you a deposit match up to $100. Check out PrizePicks right now. You will not regret it. Okay, so what is next for the Dallas Mavericks? Are they done? Are they not? Obviously, we don't know for sure. But one thing I did want to do is to cycle through some of these other trades that have happened, because it's been a pretty busy morning, and then we'll kind of explore, who's left, what the Mavericks could do. So we'll kind of cycle through these quick. Toronto gets Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji for Kira Lewis, Otto Porter, and a 2024 first-round pick, which I don't know why Toronto's trading first-round picks, but that's neither here nor there. The Sixers added Buddy Hield earlier this morning in return for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 second-round picks. I actually like that move for Philadelphia. We saw this one yesterday. Xavier Tillman to Boston for a couple of second-round picks. And Lamar Stevens. Steven Adams to Houston for Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round picks. And then Monty Morris to Minnesota for Shake Milton, Troy Brown Jr., and a 2030 second-round pick. And then when you're going way back here, of course, Pascal Siakam to Indiana for Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, 3 firsts, and Kira Lewis Jr. Terry Rozier went to the Miami Heat for Kyle Lowry and a future first-round pick protected. And then, of course, the OG Anunoby trade, which we, of course, has broken down. I don't know if that new Knicks trade is in here yet. Here it is. This one coming in just minutes ago. Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. This is definitely the biggest one today. Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, Ryan Arcidiacono, Malachi Flynn, and 2 second-round picks. I got to be honest, the Knicks making all these moves so far this year and have not given up one of their, I think, 8 tradable first-round picks yet is kind of nuts. So that's pretty impressive. For the Mavericks, though, I would love to add a 3-4 type, like a big wing. Not a Josh Green-sized wing, 6'6" to 6'9" wing. Someone who can play the 3, can play the 4. That is what I would like to add if you could still find that. And guess what? I'm not alone. Brad Townsend had this tweet. He was confirming the report about Daniel Gafford, but he also said, I'm told the Mavs are still very motivated to get some wing help. So could they still be in on P.J. Washington, which was reported earlier? He's kind of that 4 type of player you could add. Is there another wing on the market that Dallas could go out and get? Jeremy Grant, is that a possibility? So we'll see how things progress over the next few hours. I'm going to be live on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, which just started its trade deadline coverage. If you want to come check me out, we'll be live over there. So do that and also hit the subscribe button here. But let us know who you want the Mavs to trade for next. Drop a name down in the comment section down below. And we appreciate you tuning in and making it to the end of this video. And one last time, hit the subscribe button. Join us on Chat Sports, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV over there. Hit the sub button here. If any new Mavs moves come out, we will cover that. I'm Harrison Graham. Go Mavs. Welcome, Daniel Gafford.